Uber built a $70 billion empire. And then, in 40 days, it started to collapse. A CEO caught on camera, berating his own driver. A whistleblower, exposing a toxic culture inside the company. Then came something even bigger. A lawsuit from Google accusing Uber of stealing its most valuable technology. And a secret program designed to trick regulators. So effectively, it made illegal operations look invisible. All of this happened in just over a month, and none of it was supposed to be public. But one moment changed everything. A dashcam recording inside an Uber car. February 28, 2017, San Francisco. A driver named Fauzi Camel is arguing with a passenger. He says he's losing money. Uber cut fares, broke the promises they used to recruit him. He wants answers. The man in the back seat gives him one. Some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit. The camera is still rolling. The driver is still sitting there, and the man who just said that is Travis Kalanick, the CEO of Uber. That moment alone would have destroyed most executives. But it wasn't even the worst thing that happened that week. San Francisco, 2008. Two men can't get a cab. Travis Kalanick, Garrett Camp, standing on a street corner, watching nothing happen. Camp had an idea. What if you can press a button and get a car? Simple, almost embarrassingly simple. Uber didn't invent ride-sharing, it made it work. Before Uber, you waited, you guessed, you hoped. The system wasn't built for passengers, it was built for the people who owned the licenses. Uber flipped that. You knew where the car was, you knew the price before you got in. You paid without cash, you rated the driver. For the first time, the passenger had control, and people loved it. Inside Uber, there was a phrase: growth at all costs. It wasn't culture, it was strategy. Launch first, break the rules, grow fast, deal with regulators later. And it worked, every time. The playbook is the same in Portland, in Paris, in South Korea, in Australia. By 2017, Uber is valued at $70 billion. It has never made a profit. Nobody cares. At this point, it looks like genius. Quick pause here. If you're into breakdowns like this, real stories behind billion-dollar companies, subscribe. We do this every week. All right, back to Uber. But that's exactly when things start to break. February 19th, 2017. A blog post goes live, written by a former Uber engineer, Susan Fowler. 9 pages, plain language. What she describes is not one incident. It's a system. A manager propositioned her on her first day. She reports it. HR calls him a high performer. No action. She transfers teams. It happens again. She documents everything, then she publishes it. In 24 hours, 200,000 people read it. Uber hires the former U.S. Attorney General to investigate itself. That's not damage control. That's containment. 4 days later, something bigger hits. Waymo, Google's self-driving division. An engineer downloads thousands of confidential files the night before leaving Google. Blueprints, designs, years of research. He leaves. Then he founded a self-driving trucking company called Otto. 6 months later, Uber acquired Otto for $680 million. Google had been watching, and they believed Uber knew. February 28th. You've already seen this moment. Now you understand it. Kalanick, in an Uber car, caught on his own system, talking to a driver losing money because of decisions he made. He apologizes. Nothing changes. But none of this was the real problem. The real problem was still hidden. Then came the part Uber didn't want anyone to see. A system designed to identify regulators and show them a fake version of the app. If you were a normal user, you saw real cars, real drivers, real movement. But if Uber flagged you, you saw something else. Cars that didn't exist, rides that never arrived, rides that were accepted, then canceled, surge pricing that wasn't real, a city that wasn't real. Two versions of the same app, one for customers, one for regulators. This was deployed in Portland, in Boston, in Paris, in Australia, in South Korea, in at least 6 other markets. The same day this was exposed, the Department of Justice opened an investigation. By early March, everything started surfacing. The culture, the lawsuits, the way the company was being run. One story at a time, 40 days, 4 major crises. Any one of them would have ended a normal company. There were people who could have stopped it. They didn't. The board knew. Investors knew. The company kept growing. Then even the solution broke. A board meeting, meant to address sexism, is interrupted by a sexist remark. Board member David Bonderman, a co-founder of TPG Capital, said this, aloud, in the room. Actually, what's true is that it's much more complicated to have more women because they do speak more. The system was consistent. June 21, 2017. Travis Kalanick resigns. Not fired, not removed. He steps down. He keeps his shares, his influence, his wealth, everything. Uber survives. New CEO, new tone. Same company. The Waymo lawsuit settled in February 2018. Uber paid $245 million in equity to Waymo. No admission, a fraction of the cost. To Google, Anthony Lewandowski was later convicted of trade secret theft and sentenced to 18 months in federal prison. Kalanick sells billions in shares. He went quiet. He gave no interviews. He walked away with enough money to never think about Uber again. Uber drivers are still classified as independent contractors. Remember the program, the one that didn't exist. It had a name. Greyball. 2 versions of reality. One for you. One for anyone watching. Uber didn't almost collapse because it grew too fast. It almost collapsed because of how it chose to grow. The rules didn't apply until they did. Every company eventually faces the same choice: follow the rules or win at all costs. The question is, how many have already chosen and built something you'll never see? Which empire should we break down next?